Part 16. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the Emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 151. At this time, Suju came to a new space. The whole space was not big, less than 100 miles. However, this space was extremely dilapidated and desolate, which made Suju couldn't help but think of the forbidden secret place before, which was similar to the scene in front of her. It seems that people from the imperial court have also entered this place. Suju thought secretly. After all, only the blood and essence of the demons can be used to activate the formation on the golden horn. This was an easy task for the imperial court who was killing the demons at the time. The only thing you can see here is the big mountain in the distance. Go there first to see if there are any clues. Suju looked at a mountain peak in the distance. Everything around him was destroyed, but that mountain peak was still standing. There must be something extraordinary about it. As soon as he moved, Suju flew towards the mountain peak. On the way, Suju also looked below and found that the place was a scorched earth, but there were no corpses of demons. Soon, Suju came to the mountain peak. When he saw that there were flourishing flowers and plants on the mountain peak, Suju felt even more strange. The entire space looked dilapidated, but the mountain peaks were covered with red flowers and green grass, which was really strange. Although he was confused, Suju was not afraid. Anyway, he had the defense body now, so he didn't have to be afraid even if he encountered danger. The worst is possible. Use the invincible order directly to solve everything easily. The closer to the top of the mountain, Suju found that the flowers and plants around him became more colorful, as if something was providing life to these flowers and plants. This is. When she reached the top of the mountain and saw the scene in front of her, Suju couldn't help but pause. He saw a huge pit directly in front of him, and in the huge pit, there was a faint light of blood. When she came to the huge pit and took a look, Suju was shocked. It turned out to be a pit of thousands of corpses. There were a large number of corpses in this pit, and runes were engraved on each corpse. At this time, these runes flickered, seeming to be extracting the power from these corpses. This method is a bit cruel. Suju narrowed his eyes and thought. He could tell that these corpses should all be members of the demon clan. After a cursory glance, he found that there were at least hundreds of thousands of them. You must know that hundreds of thousands of years have passed since the demon clan was destroyed. After many years, there are still so many left. You can imagine how many demons were placed in this pit at that time. System, do you know what formation is under this cave? Suju asked. The corpses of these demons were obviously set up with formations to extract the power from the corpses, but Suju didn't know what the specific formations were. This is the source gathering array. This array can extract the origins of all people entering the array. As for the use of extracting these origins, this system does not know. What is the origin? Suju asked. The origin includes a wide range of things, including ratio, luck, and the power of blood. Suju nodded. After the imperial court defeated the demons more cruelly than he thought, they even wanted to extract the source. This was to prevent the demons from ever being able to stand up again. System, is there a way to break the formation? Suju asked. Although this formation is special, it is very simple to break. You only need to use the demon blood as a guide to awaken the residual power in the demon corpses, causing the balance of the formation to be broken, and then it can be broken. Suju nodded, not expecting it to be so simple. But think about it, ordinary people really can't enter this place. If there is no demon blood, there is no way to break the formation. Buzz. Suju did not hesitate, and directly took out a drop of demon blood, pinched the magic formula in his hand, and fully activated the power in the blood. Then the essence and blood fell downwards, and finally landed on the corpse of a demon. Essay. After waiting for a while, Suju didn't see any changes. Host, the demon blood essence and blood in your hand has not yet been released from the bloodline imprisonment, so it cannot be regarded as real demon blood essence and blood. Sujujhan was confused, and the system explained. This made Suju frown. Isn't this considered real demon blood? But where can he find the real demon blood now? Since there is no demon essence and blood, use quantitative changes to achieve qualitative changes. Thinking about it, Suju first recorded a short video, and then opened the chat interface between Wanja and Anita. After sending the video, Suju also left a message. Anita, I found here that the corpses of your demon ancestors were placed in a formation. It takes enough demon blood to break the formation. After waiting for a while, Anita sent a message. My lord, please be sure to rescue my demon ancestors and let them rest in peace. My lord, please wait for the matter of essence and blood. My subordinates need some time to prepare. After closing the interface, Suju also began to wait. Just being idle and bored, Suju walked around for a while. However, he found no method to unlock the demon's bloodline, only this pit of corpses. It seems that there is no way to unlock the blood essence of the demons here. Suju shook her head. She could only wait until this formation was broken before going to search elsewhere. Ding dong, Anita has given you items, please check them carefully. Half an hour later, Anita finally got news, and Suju also directly received the items presented by the other party. Wouldn't this Anita want everyone in the demon clan to take a drop of blood essence? The other party presented a storage ring, but inside the ring, it was all the blood and essence of the demons, which directly merged into a sea of blood. Practice. Thinking about it, Suju's mind moved, and the sea of blood in the storage ring suddenly appeared. As Suju's power fell, the sea of blood began to gradually shrink. It took about half an hour, but the sea of blood just disappeared. A drop of blood the size of a finger appeared in front of Suju. The blood essence smelted from so much demon blood should be worth a drop of real demon blood. Thinking about it, Suju dropped this drop of blood into the pothole. Buzz. As soon as the blood essence fell, Suju felt a sudden appearance of aura below, and saw streaks of bloody light appearing on the corpses of the demons. These streams of light were echoing the drops of blood essence. Swish. A few seconds later, a powerful force burst out from under the pit, and a line of blood rushed out of the pit. It finally worked. Suju breathed a sigh of relief and flew to the distance. Rumble. Just after leaving, the source converging formation was instantly broken, and the mountain peak collapsed in pieces. This lasted for about half an hour. When the dust dispersed, the mountain peak had disappeared, leaving only a pile of rocks. Buzz. At this time, Suju saw hundreds of thousands of corpses from the demon tribe blending into the bloody light, and an illusory figure also appeared in the bloody light. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 152. My demon clan finally sees the light of day again. A voice sounded, and Suju saw the blood light gradually disappearing, and the figure inside instantly came to him. This was a middle-aged man 3 meters tall with 2 horns on his head. The man's eyes were blood-colored, with blood. With a hint of madness. Human race? Court death. When he looked at Suju, the middle-aged man immediately shouted angrily, and a bloody sword suddenly appeared in his hand and fell directly towards Suju. Boom. Suju stood on the spot and did not dodge. The sword fell and a powerful force burst out. But soon the middle-aged man's eyes showed surprise, because after the sword fell, Suju stood still intact. Continue. Suju said lightly. Arrogant. Bang bang bang. Suju's attitude angered the middle-aged man, and he shouted again, and the sword fell towards Suju again like a violent storm. About 5 minutes passed. The middle-aged man was panting and using his sword to support his body, but Suju still stood there without moving. No clothes are damaged at all. Have had enough? Let's get down to business then. You should be a body made up of the corpses of those demons, right? Suju looked at the man and asked. Human race, we, the demon race, are at odds with you. The middle-aged man's eyes were full of murderous intent, but he did not attack Suju again. He slashed the opponent for so long without any damage, which showed that his method did not pose much threat to the opponent. Suju had a look on his face. I have no choice, it was the people from the imperial court who destroyed you demons, who cares about the human race? I won't talk nonsense to you anymore. Now the demons have recognized me as their master, but the demon's bloodline imprisonment has not yet been released. Do you know how to do it? As Suju spoke, a mark appeared between her eyebrows. This is the life mark of my demon clan. The middle-aged man also discovered the mark, his eyes filled with disbelief. Are the demons so lonely now that they actually need to accept the human race as their master to survive? Now the imperial court is encircling and suppressing the demon clan. If you don't release the bloodline imprisonment, you should know the consequences. Suju spoke again. The middle-aged man was silent for a few seconds. Although he was very reluctant to believe that the demons recognized the person in front of him as their master, the demon life mark on the other person could not be faked. Why do you want to help me, the demon clan? The middle-aged man asked with a frown. Because I am happy, and because I am unhappy with the imperial court, I want to destroy the imperial court, Suju said calmly. But Suju's words made the middle-aged man stunned, and then he immediately burst out laughing. I really want to destroy the imperial court. Do you have this ability? The middle-aged man said disdainfully. Their demon clan was destroyed by the imperial court, and the other party returns to the imperial court alone? It's simply a wishful thinking. Isn't this a matter of flipping hands? Suju shrugged. With an invincible command, even the upper world will slap you to pieces, let alone you. Those who don't know are fearless. The middle-aged man said with disdain. Although he looked down upon Suju, now that the demon clan has indeed recognized him as their master, there is nothing he can do about it. To unlock the demon clan's bloodline imprisonment, you need the golden spirit devil horn. The golden spirit devil horn is the sacred object of my demon clan, and only it can unlock it, the middle-aged man said. Golden spirit magic horn? Where? Suju asked. When you enter this place, the two golden horns you see are the golden spirit demon horns. Suju was stunned. He had already found a way to unblock his bloodline. But if you want to take the golden spirit demon horn from the temple of my demon clan, you need the blood of my demon clan's royal family. Suju frowned and said for a long time, are you kidding me? Where can I find the royal bloodline of your demon clan? And I have the royal blood of the demon clan, the middle-aged man said again. Suju twitched the corner of his mouth. Can you finish the sentence at once? What are you waiting for? Don't you believe that I can destroy the imperial court? After taking the golden spirit demon horn, you can see it with your own eyes, Suju said. The middle-aged man hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Now he has no other way. He can't let the last bloodline of the demon race be cut off. Buzz. Then a burst of blood erupted from the man's body again, and the surrounding space began to collapse. Wow! The next moment, the scene in front of Suju changed. When it appeared again, it was already outside the main hall. I don't know what to call you yet. The middle-aged man also appeared next to Suju, looked at Suju and asked. This is the great ancient emperor. The middle-aged man nodded. The ancient emperor, this body of mine was created by the demon clan using the blood soul secret technique. It cannot exist for long. I can only survive if I am inhabited by the golden spirit and demon horns. From now on, I will be the demon. The weapon spirit of the golden spirit demon horn. I hope you can take the golden spirit demon horn and hand it over to the demon clan. Don't worry, I'm here just for the demons. Swish. The middle-aged man looked at Suju deeply, and then his body suddenly turned into a stream of light and fell into the two golden horns above the main hall. Rumble. The next moment, the runes on the golden horn lit up again, and at the same time, the entire hall began to collapse. The golden horns gradually separated from the main hall, suspended in the air, and finally slowly reunited. Buzz. At this time, a wave of waves swayed above the golden horn, and Suju saw the turbulence in the surrounding space tremble, and then all stopped. Is this the sacred object of the demon clan? Interesting. Looking at the golden horn flying in front of him, Suju smiled slightly, waved his right hand and put it away. System, use unlimited teleportation. Ding dong, the host uses unlimited teleportation. Please select the teleportation location. The selection is successful. The transmission is in progress. The transmission is successful. Swish. As soon as the system finished speaking, Suju disappeared from the spot in an instant. Less than a minute after Suju left, several figures suddenly appeared on the broken hall. The source gathering formation was broken and the golden spirit demonic horns disappeared. It seemed that the demons were coming back. The leading man looked at the main hall in front of him and said coldly, "Just come back, come back. Today's demons are nothing to be afraid of. Even if the bloodline imprisonment is released, what will happen? The imperial court is already preparing to exterminate the demons," an old man said. "How did that happen? Have you found the entrance?" asked the man. "There is no news yet, but there have been some fluctuations in the Holy Stone recently, and I believe there will be news soon," the old man said. "Well, we have to find the entrance quickly, after all, the people above can't wait," the man said. The old man nodded, and the few people disappeared, and the place fell into silence again. "I didn't expect to find a way to release the demon's bloodline so quickly." Suju appeared in the Taoist temple in a flash, looking at the golden magic horn in his hand with a smile on his face. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 153. After getting the golden spirit magic horn, Suju quickly called Anita and others and handed the magic horn to the demon clan. As for how to unlock the demon clan's bloodline imprisonment, that is not what Suju needs to think about. Now that the method to unlock the bloodline ban of the demons has been found, the glory of the demons will soon be restored. However, even if the bloodline ban is lifted, the demons are still not strong enough to fight against the imperial court, Suju thought secretly. Back then, the demons were no match for the imperial court. Now that the demons have just returned, and after so many years of development, the imperial court has made it easier to destroy them. I would like to see what the upper realm has to offer. Suju smiled slightly. There are still more than 10 days before the upper world can use Lingtian's secret technique, which is enough for him to do a lot of things. What is needed most now is points. As long as you have enough points, you can open the dojo. When you have enough treasures, you can destroy as many people as you come from the upper world. Thinking about it, Suju suddenly moved to the mountains and started recording videos, preparing to accumulate enough points. For more than 10 days after that, Suju kept recording and posting videos, which made Dingtian big people all over the world are curious. They are all speculating whether something big will happen. Otherwise, why would Emperor Huang release a video almost every 2 or 3 days? Moreover, Emperor Huang has opened the dojo more and more recently. At the beginning, there is only one show every day, but now, there are 3 shows in the morning, noon, and evening. As a result, many people have not fully understood what they have understood before, and have other insights in their hearts. Do you think anything big has happened in our Dingtian world recently? Senior Huang preaches so frequently because he wants to improve our strength quickly. Could it be that Senior Huang is about to leave our great world of Dingtian, so he preaches frequently? I don't think so. If Senior Huang really wants to leave, he should tell us directly. On the contrary, I think it has something to do with the upper world. Last time, the powerful people in the upper realm planned to destroy our great world of Dingtian, but they were stopped by Senior Huanggu. He will definitely not give up. By the way, I haven't seen anyone from the demon clan recently, not even seeing Senior Huanggu preach. What were they doing? Although Emperor Huanggu's sermons made the people of Dingtian world very happy every day, they felt like a storm was coming. In this way, 10 days passed by in a flash. Boom! In the Shilling Pagoda, Suju's mind was shaken, the aura on his body exploded, and his realm also broke through. After a while, Suju opened her eyes with satisfaction. It's better to rely on systematic practice to achieve breakthroughs faster, Suju said with a smile. These days, he has been earning points wantonly, and then frequently opened the dojo, and obtained countless treasures. Among them are treasures that help with cultivation. It only took a few days. Before, he was just a great master. Suju, who has reached the realm of immortals, has now broken through the heavenly realm, surpassed the earth immortal, and reached the true immortal realm. Although the true immortal realm is still very weak for the strong people in the upper realm, it only took Suju 10 days. He was able to break through the realm so quickly, all because of his scoring points. There are still 30 million points left, and the system store will be refreshed again in 2 days, so you can use them then. Although the demons have no time to distract themselves from entering the world because they have released their bloodline imprisonment, the people of Dingtian world still provide Suju with a lot of points. Even if he opens the dojo 3 times every morning, noon, and evening, up to now, there are still 30 million points left. With these treasures, no one from the upper world can leave if they dare to come. Then Suju looked at the dozens of light groups suspended in the Shilling Tower. Among these light groups were the rewards he had received after preaching. Some had powerful power, while others had special uses. But no matter what, with these treasures in hand, he can calmly deal with anyone from the upper world attacking him anytime. Emperor Huangwu, news just came from the Spirit Clan that the Lingtian secret technique will be used in the upper world tomorrow. Just as he was thinking about it, the voice of the world spirit sounded in Suju's mind. Tomorrow? It seems they are quite anxious, Suju said with a smile. Gumweun told him before that it would take half a month to reach the upper realm. Unexpectedly, it has only been 10 days and the upper realm is already ready to take action. Then let me take a look at how many resources you have in the upper world. Suju thought, looking at a ball of light, her mind moved, and a talisman in the ball of light appeared in her hand. Talisman for seizing heaven and fortune, a special type of talisman. After using this talisman, you can seize the power of heaven and earth and turn it into your own use. This talisman was a reward he received after a sermon before. There was only this treasure in that sermon, which shows how valuable this talisman is. What realm I can break through tomorrow depends on the strength of the people in the upper realm. Suju curled his lips, opened the dojo again, and preached again. Soon, the second day arrived. In the upper world, in a mountain range, millions of people were gathering here. These millions of people were divided into standing on all 4 sides are the 4 forces of the imperial court, the wilderness palace, the Taxian sect and the demon spirit valley. It's all set and ready to go, Li Yuan said while looking at the 3 people around him. Man Hai, the master of the wilderness hall, Zhou Guanyuan, the master of the Taxian sect, and Ao Zifeng, the master of the demon spirit valley, all nodded and looked at a huge Taoist platform in front of them. Here, runes are densely covered on the Shidao platform, and there are thousands of people sitting on it in all directions. These thousands of people are all powerful immortal emperors. They are all the powerful people from their 4 major forces. Father, After the rules of heaven and earth in the demon world are improved, the child is willing to lead people there to destroy the demon clan. His Royal Highness Li Tian. He looked at Li Yuan and said, "Well, the demons are cunning, so be careful when you go there this time." Li Yuan nodded and said, "Father, don't worry, the child will definitely not disappoint him." Li Tian, he said with some disapproval in his heart. In the past, their strong men could not enter the demon world, so they suffered a loss. But now, the rules of the two worlds are equal. They brought the strong men of the immortal emperor in to kill the demons. Not a piece of cake? Start. Boom. Following a soft drink, the thousands of powerful immortal emperors on the Taoist platform burst out with their auras, and pillars of light shot up into the sky from their bodies. Buzz. As everyone began to use the magic formulas one after another, these magic formulas seemed to be chaotic, but in fact they echoed each other and gradually formed a large formation. Do it? Wow! Li Yuan whispered, and countless heavenly materials and earthly treasures flew out of his hands and flew towards the Taoist platform, followed closely by Zhou Guangyuan and others. And when these heavenly materials and earthly treasures fell, they were refined by the powerful power of the formation, forming drops of liquid. When these liquids fell on the Taoist platform, the runes on the Taoist platform were instantly activated. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 154. Boom. The next second, the color of the entire world changed, and the powerful power of the rules of heaven and earth gathered towards the formation. This Lingtian secret technique is really powerful. It has just begun and it has already aroused such power. Gumweun, who was sitting aside, said with a smile. The pavilion master was ridiculous. According to the current situation, in 2 or 3 days at most, the rules of heaven and earth in the demon world will be upgraded to the same level as the upper world. By then, the treasures obtained by destroying the demons will naturally belong to the pavilion master, Li Yuan said. Then thank God. Gumweun nodded, with a smile in his eyes. When you go to the demon realm, I'm afraid you will know how stupid this decision is. The ancient emperor, they have started. I can feel that there is a powerful force that is making the world of Dingtian improve at the same time. The voice of the world spirit sounded in Suju's mind. Suju looked at the streaks of golden light appearing on the sky, smiled and nodded. Please cooperate with me. I will record a piece of light and shadow so that the creatures in the Dingtian world do not have to worry about this vision. Sujudeo. No problem. World Spirit said, and cooperated with Suju to record a video. Suju then spread the video to all the worlds. At the same time, everyone knew about the golden light appearing in the sky of Dingtian world. After the last incident, everyone was worried. Could it be that the powerful people in the upper world were planning to destroy their Dingtian world? Fortunately, at this time they saw the video of the ancient emperor. In the video, the ancient emperor played sitting on the sky. With a wave of your hand, golden light shines out, and countless auspicious clouds appear in the sky. The auspicious clouds are descending from me. What insights you can have depends on your own opportunities. The ancient emperor's voice sounded faintly, and these words made everyone's eyes light up. It turns out that Senior Huanggu sent down the auspicious clouds to help us practice. I thought it was the people from the upper world who came again, but I didn't expect that it was Senior Huanggu who made the noise. What are you waiting for? Get ready to practice quickly. This auspicious cloud seems to contain the powerful power of the rules of heaven and earth. If you can understand a few things, you will benefit a lot. It seems that the movement was caused by Emperor Huanggu. Everyone put down their hands, sat down one after another, and began to practice seriously. Emperor Huanggu still has a way, otherwise the world of Dingtian will definitely be filled with panic and panic. The spirit of the world also saw everyone's actions and said to Suju, the power in this auspicious cloud can indeed help them practice. It would be a pity if they missed it. I am just telling them the matter. Suju said with a smile. As the saying goes, a person can ascend to heaven after attaining the Tao. If the rules of heaven and earth in the Dingtian world are improved, the creatures on it will also be improved. Even if these people do not practice, the power of the rules of heaven and earth will be improved subtly. Change, thereby improving strength, but it is not as direct as self-cultivation. This is a good training opportunity, but I don't. Suju thought secretly. He has the heaven-capturing fortune talisman in hand, but he doesn't value this little energy. What he values is the resources in the hands of those powerful people in the upper world. Time passed little by little, and Suju could clearly feel that the rules of heaven and earth in the Dingtian world were improving, and the world spirit was also getting stronger. I don't know what happened to the demons. Suju murmured. Since giving the golden spirit demon horn to the demon clan, everyone in the demon clan has disappeared. However, he can feel that the demon clan's chi is still in the demon realm, but it should be caused by the golden spirit demon clan. The spirit demon horn was brought to another space and the bloodline was released. After shaking her head, Suju closed her eyes and fell asleep. It would take a few days for the rules of heaven and earth in the Dingtian world to be equal to those of the upper world. He was not in a hurry. In this way, 2 days passed by in a flash, and on this day, Suju also opened his eyes. World Spirit, what's going on? Suju asked. Ancient Emperor, my power of the rules of heaven and earth is about to be equal to that of the upper world, and it will only take an hour at most, the spirit of the world said with a hint of joy. He never thought that after so many years since his birth, the rules of heaven and earth had only been upgraded to the level of the Heavenly Lord, but now there were people helping him to improve. This was something he had never thought of before. Matter? Suju nodded, with a smile on his face. Soon he will be able to use the Heaven Second Fortune Talisman to improve his own realm. What realm he can advance to this time depends entirely on the resources of the powerful people in the upper realm. How many? Upper bound. How's it going? Li Yuan asked. Report to the Emperor that it will take another hour before the rules of heaven and earth between the demon realm and the upper realm are equal. When the passage is opened, the powerful immortal emperor can be sent there. Li Yuan nodded, that's good. Suju is waiting, and Li Yuan is also waiting. In an hour, their powerful men from the upper world will be able to enter the demon world and completely annihilate the demon clan. Time passes little by little, and an hour is about to pass. Suju also once again opened eyes. It's time to start. Try out the heaven-winning fortune talisman in the system. Ding dong, the host uses the heaven-capturing fortune talisman. Please choose the target. The selection is successful. The heaven-capturing fortune talisman is used successfully. Buzz. A purple talisman appeared in front of Suju. As the system finished speaking, the talisman suddenly turned into 2 auras. One fell into Suju's body, and the other was connected to the Dingtian world. Give me the chance to conquer the sky. Boom. Suju secretly shouted, and the skills in his body suddenly started to work. At the same time, a powerful force surged towards his body. 2nd grade true immortal, 3rd grade true immortal, 4th grade true immortal, heavenly immortal realm. For a time, the aura on Suju's body continued to increase. Almost every 10 seconds, he would ascend a small realm. The speed of this breakthrough was also too fast. Feeling the soaring power in his body, Suju was also a little excited. There is no bottleneck in his cultivation. He only needs enough energy to break through directly. But although he does not lack cultivation resources, he lacks the time to refine these resources. How is it like now, when the powerful man in the upper realm uses Lingtian's secret technique to refine countless heavenly materials and earthly treasures, and the transformed energy can be directly absorbed, thus saving his own time in refining resources? I would like to see how many cultivation resources you have in the upper realm. Suju curled up his lips and continued to practice. As time went by, Suju's realm continued to soar, and people in the upper realm also discovered that something was wrong. Emperor, it stands to reason that the rules of the world are now equal to those of the upper world, but it is still absorbing power. This demon world is a bit strange. A man looked at Li Yuan and frowned. So many cultivation resources have been consumed, is this still missing? Maybe the rules of heaven and earth are not yet stable, so some strength is needed. Li Yuan thought for a while and said. He had no doubts. After all, he would never have thought that someone could snatch the creation of heaven and earth. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 155. He has already broken through to the mysterious immortal realm, but it seems that the people in the upper realm still haven't discovered it. Suju smiled slightly. Only about half an hour had passed, and he had broken through from the realm of true immortal to the realm of mysterious immortal, crossing 3 major realms. This is simpler and more crude than taking drugs directly. This heaven-winning fortune talisman is really a good thing. Suju thought secretly. But he also knew that although this talisman is good, it is very difficult for ordinary people to use it. If ordinary people use it, it will be discovered by the spirit of the world. The spirit of the world will not let ordinary creatures steal its own. When the time comes, a thunder punishment will be sent down, and no one can stop it. Fortunately, Suju's situation is different. The spirit of the world has become his little brother, not to mention that the creation he has captured now will not harm the spirit of the world at all. The spirit of the world will naturally not stop him. This ancient emperor is really very powerful. If the people in the upper world hadn't provided me with a steady stream of power, I would have been devoured by the ancient emperor. Looking at Suju, who was cultivating world spirit, secretly thought. Suju was absorbing his power, and the people in the upper world were helping him replenish his power, which resulted in him having little influence. However, because of the system, the spirit of the world couldn't tell what state Suju was in now. Anyway, he was very strong. Another hour passed, and the people in the upper world finally realized that something was wrong. God, it's been so long, it's so strange that the rules of the demon world haven't been stabilized yet, and the resources we prepared are almost exhausted. Li Yuan also frowned. Even if the time they predicted before is slightly different, there is no reason for such a big difference. Stop everyone, there's definitely something weird in this. Li Yuan thought for a few seconds and said. Buzz. Soon, everyone stopped their tactics one after another, and the entire formation gradually calmed down. Open the channel and go over there to see what's going on, Li Yuan said. Yes. Wow. The next second, people from the imperial court also took action, and a huge space vortex appeared in the mountains. Almost able to break through to the immortal emperor realm. Suju closed his eyes tightly. In just a short time, he had reached the realm of the 9th grade immortal lord and was one step away from the immortal emperor. Buzz. But at this moment, the source of continuous power suddenly disappeared, and the voice of the world spirit also sounded in Suju's mind. Emperor Huang, what's wrong? People from the upper world are opening up a passage into the great world of Dingtian. Hearing this, Suju slowly opened her eyes, with a hint of disappointment. It was still a little bit worse. Are you finally here? Let's lead the passage to the seat, Suju said. Emperor Huang, do you still need to prepare? I can still hold on for a while, the spirit of the world said with some worry. After all, his current world is equal to the upper realm. In other words, the strong men from the upper realm will be able to come to his world without any scruples. He is also a little worried about whether the ancient emperor can solve it. It is necessary to prepare. Suju smiled slightly, then waved his right hand, and a black coffin appeared in the air. I will welcome them with this black iron coffin. The Suan Tai Ming coffin was a treasure given to him by the powerful men in the Dingtian world. At that time, he was still wondering what kind of blind thing actually gave him a coffin. But now it seems that the coffin is still somewhat useful. Although the grade of the black iron coffin is not high, it is not important to Suju. It is just pretending to be dead. Why is it so high grade? The ancient emperor, be careful. Buzz. As soon as the world spirit finished speaking, a space crack appeared 10,000 meters in front of Suju. It's been a long time since I've satiated my appetite, so today I feel a little relaxed. Suju ignored the space crack. As soon as his mind moved, a bonfire appeared in front of him. At the same time, a wild beast in the mountains also appeared in front of him and was grilled directly on the bonfire. Report to the emperor that the passage to the devil world has been opened. Li Yuan looked at the passage in front of him, nodded with satisfaction, and looked at Zhou Guangyuan and others beside him. Everyone, are you ready? Li Yuan laughed. Don't worry, our demon spirit valley has been prepared for a long time. Aoun will obey the order and lead our strong men from demon spirit valley to destroy the demon clan. Xiao Hao obeyed the order and led the powerful men of Taxian sect to destroy the demon clan. Manjiang obeyed the order and led the powerful men of Manhuang Palace to destroy the demon clan. Zhou Guangyuan and the three of them gave orders one after another, and Li Yuan also looked at Li Tianhe in front of him. Third brother, let's go. Father, don't worry, the child will definitely not disappoint him. Li Tianhe nodded, and then turned to look at the strong men of the imperial court under his command. Everyone in the imperial court, follow this palace into the demon world and destroy the demons. Swish swish swish. Subsequently, the four forces each dispatched 100,000 strong men, and a total of 400,000 people headed towards the passage. How long does the emperor think this demon can hold on? Gum Weun looked at Li Yuan and asked with a smile. A stick of incense, after all, it takes a little time to search for treasures. Li Yuan said. Gum Weun nodded and said nothing, but he wanted to laugh a little in his heart. With that person here, I'm afraid the people from the imperial court will not be able to come back. Although the four major forces sent 400,000 people this time, among them the immortal emperor, there are not many strong people in the realm, and the total is only 100 people. After all, other immortal emperor's strong people have been maintaining the formation before, and are still recovering their strength. In addition to the immortal emperor's strong people, there are as many as 10,000 immortal emperor's strong people. There are 100,000 strong immortal kings, and the rest are all strong men from the nine heavens' mysterious immortal realm. With so many strong men, they are enough to sweep everything even in the upper realm, let alone go to a lower realm. After entering the demon world, everyone should be careful. The demon clan was also one of the three major heavenly clans back then, and they might have some powerful means. In the passage, Li Tianhe looked at the people in the imperial court and said, Your Highness, why should you be so careful? Aren't they just a group of ants? With our strength, shouldn't we just kill them casually? Aoun from Demon Spirit Valley said disdainfully. Yes, I don't know what the sect master thought, but he actually sent so many of us into the demon world. With the current strength of the demon clan, we can kill them by just sending a strong immortal emperor. Taxian sect. Xiao Hao nodded and said. What a bunch of idiots. Regarding the two people's words, Li Tianhe didn't say anything on the surface, but he was cursing secretly in his heart. If he hadn't suffered a loss before, he would definitely be as arrogant as these two people, but now he doesn't know how to speak. In the meantime, everyone also saw the exit. Aoun and Xiao Hao hurriedly rushed out of the passage with their men, but Li Tianhe and Manjiang, who had been silent all the time, took their time. Fei. Lu reminds you, 3 things to do when reading, collect and recommend. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 156. Is this the devil's world? It's not as unbearable as imagined. Soon, Xiao Hao and Aoun walked through the passage and came to the Dingtian world. Looking at the surrounding mountains and rivers, Xiao Hao nodded. After all, the rules of heaven and earth in this world have been improved, and the laws contained in it have the energy is almost the same as the upper realm, which is normal. After the rules of heaven and earth in Dingtian Great World were improved, the biggest change was that the spiritual power of the entire world increased dozens of times. At the same time, a large number of cave heaven blessed lands and precious heavenly materials and earthly treasures appeared. But Suju didn't care about these places. Anyway, he didn't rely on the cave heaven paradise and heavenly materials and earthly treasures to improve his realm. At this moment, Li Tianhe and Manzhong came out with their people. It seems that the demons did not guess that we would come. Li Tianhe said. If the demons knew about it, they would have set up an ambush at the entrance of the passage. After all, this has happened before. It doesn't matter whether we guessed it or not. We still need to find the demons first, and exterminating them is the most important thing. Xiao Hao said and suddenly looked forward. Look over there, there seems to be smoke rising from the kitchen. Someone should be there to capture the demons first and ask them where they are. Li Tianhe and others also looked over, then nodded, and flew forward with 400,000 people. Master, they are coming. At the same time, Xiao Ling was nestling in Suju's arms and saw a dark group of people in the distance saying to Suju. Ignore it and pour the wine, Suju said with a smile. Good host. Xiao Ling nodded, then poured a glass of wine and fed Suju a drink with her own hands. Master, come and have some barbecue. Then Xiao Ling picked up another piece of barbecue and gently put it into Suju's mouth. Delicious, Suju nodded with satisfaction. With a beautiful woman in your arms, fine wine, and delicious food on the table, life is enough. Master, is Xiao Ling delicious? Xiao Ling asked, blinking her big blue eyes. Of course not. Suju pinched the tip of Xiao Ling's nose and laughed. Then the two started teasing. At the same time, Li Tianhe and others also came not far away from Suju. Looking at the two people who were teasing, Li Tianhe and others, the person was slightly startled. He didn't expect that people from this lower world would like to play around in the mountains. It's very exciting. Go and catch this person. Li Tianhe said to a man next to him who was in the nine heavens mysterious immortal realm. The man nodded, and then moved towards Suju. Laugh. Ah. But as soon as the man flew less than 10 meters, everyone saw him. The man let out a scream, and his body suddenly fell to the ground. How can it be? This scene made Li Tianhe and others frown. They didn't see clearly what happened, and the man died unexpectedly. And how could there be such a powerful method in this lower realm? Even the strong men in the nine heavens mysterious immortal realm can be destroyed. Kill. It's interesting. I thought the lower world was full of ants, but it seems there are some tricks. Xiao Hao sneered and nodded to a strong immortal king next to him. Such a strong immortal king naturally understood what Xiao Hao meant, and then exploded the power in his body and killed Suju. Laugh. Ah. But just like before, this powerful immortal king had just flown a few meters away when he screamed and his head was missing. This person looks familiar. Could it be the ancient emperor? At the same time, Li Yuan and others who were in the upper world were looking at a light curtain in front of them. In the light curtain was the picture of Li Tianhe and others. When he saw Suju Hao, Li Yuan narrowed his eyes. He had checked before. I have read all the books and never heard of such a person, but now I have seen it. However, the ancient emperor had a good trick. With their level, they did not even see clearly how the other party acted, so they defeated the two of them. The Lord is indeed powerful. Gumwun, who was sitting on one side, felt happy. On the other side, Li Tianhe and others also frowned when they saw two strong men falling one after another. Who's in front? Why are you stopping me from waiting? Li Tianhe looked at Sujudeo. At this time, Suju had just eaten a piece of barbecue that Xiaoling fed into his mouth. After swallowing it slowly, he also looked at Li Tianhe and others. I thought you couldn't see me, but it turns out you're not blind, Suju said lightly. So arrogant. Come on, kill him. Hearing this, Aoun snorted coldly, and three figures flew out from behind him, all of them were powerful immortals. Boom. These three people did not rush towards Suju stupidly, but stood there and released a series of long-range attacks. He. Ah. But the next second, the three people's attacks disappeared as soon as they appeared. At the same time, the three people also screamed and died on the spot. How is this possible? What methods did this person use? The fall of three powerful men in the immortal realm shocked 400,000 people. If it was because of the powerful methods of the man in front of them that the three immortals fell, they wouldn't be surprised. But the key is, what does this man know? Even though they didn't do anything, three immortals died. This is really incredible. Master, open your mouth, ah. The death of the three immortals did not ruin Suju's appetite. Xiaoling said as he put another piece of barbecue into Suju's mouth. Looking at Suju and the others who were eating barbecue and drinking wine below, Li Tianhe and others did not dare to move any more because they still did not know how their people died. Fellow Taoist, I wonder what means you used to cause our people to die. Li Tianhe looked at Suju and narrowed his eyes and asked. There is still a smart person. Since you asked, I will tell you that you are now in a formation set up by me. This formation has a name, called 10,000 Sacrifice. There is only one way to break this formation, and that is to sacrifice the lives of 10,000 people to leave this formation, Suju said lightly. It's not that he lied to these people. This formation is indeed called 10,000 Sacrifice, which he opened from the preaching treasure box before. 1000 Sacrifice, special formation. After the formation is successfully deployed, the lives of 10,000 people need to be sacrificed before the formation can be broken. When the sacrifice is not full, the person who set up the formation can set the death judgment by himself. The conditions, those who meet the conditions will die directly if they ignore the realm. The condition for determining death set by Suju is to release an attack method. As long as anyone in the formation releases an attack, the death condition will be met and he will be instantly wiped out. I have to say that this formation is very overbearing. The most important thing is that Suju can change the conditions for determining death at will. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 157. Hearing Suju's words, Li Tianhe and others frowned. They had never heard of such a formation. What do we do now? This formation seems to be real, Xiao Hao asked. According to the observation just now, it seems that this formation will only be triggered after releasing an attack. If we don't touch the formation, wouldn't people die? Li Tianhe thought for a while and said. This is just your guess. If it is false, what should we do? Aoun snorted coldly. Whether it is true or not, you will know if you try it. Manjiang, who had not spoken until now, said, looking at a Manhuang Palace man from the Nine Heavens mysterious immortal realm next to him. The man's face turned pale. Although his eyes were full of fear, he did not dare to disobey Manjiang's order. Then, under the gaze of everyone, the man flew forward cautiously, only to find that he did not die. It seems that as long as the attack is not released, the formation will not be triggered. Li Tianhe smiled slightly and looked at Suju below as he spoke. The mere ants in the lower realm dare to be so arrogant. Now that they have a way to break the formation, they will definitely not be lenient when they catch each other. Everyone, fly over with me. Li Tianhe said, and 400,000 people flew towards Suju. Since you are here to die, I will help you. Ju smiled slightly and said, System, change the judgment conditions. Whoever touches it will die. Ding dong, the mass sacrifice judgment conditions have been changed successfully. He. Ah. The next second, the 400,000 people who were flying towards Suju suddenly heard screams. Many people found that the people around them died instantly. What happened? Isn't there no danger as long as you don't take action? Looking at the people who died, Li Tianhe and others' expressions also changed. Did they guess wrong? Although Tianhe and the others guessed the conditions for triggering the formation, they forgot that the person setting up the formation was right in front of them, and the other party could change the conditions at any time. In the upper realm, Li Yuan looked at the fallen powerful man in the upper realm and said lightly, I didn't expect that there is such a existence in this demon world. We have lost 10,000 people before we can find the demons. Ao Zifeng snorted coldly. It's interesting. To put it bluntly, this formation will take away the lives of 10,000 people no matter what. Now that 10,000 people have been sacrificed, this formation is considered broken. I don't know what other methods this person has, Zhou Guangyuan said. Although they themselves also suffered a lot of losses, everyone was in the same boat. Anyway, they were not the only ones who were embarrassed, so they were not excited. The ancient emperor, why on earth does this person want to help the demons? Li Yuan looked at Suju in the picture, and his heart was full of doubts. At the same time, Li Tianhe and others also recovered. Fortunately, after they gave the order, those who took action were all from the Nine Heavens' mysterious immortal realm. We, the people, didn't have much to lose. Damn it, so many of us died. The sect master and the others are still watching. They must be disappointed in us at this time. Xiao Hao gritted his teeth and said. Don't worry, this formation can be broken by just one person. 10,000 people have died now. We can easily take down this person and avenge the disciples in the section. Li Tianhe said. After hearing Li Tianhe's words, everyone's eyes lit up. Yes, now that the formation has been broken, what else can this man do? Boy, no matter who you are, since you dare to go against us, be prepared to die. Disciples of the Taxian sect, follow my orders and capture this person, Xiao Hao shouted angrily. Others also gave orders, and another group of people attacked Suju. Yeah? This coffin of mine has been prepared for you. Suju smiled slightly and said that the black iron dark coffin appeared. With a wave of his right hand, tens of thousands of corpses on the ground fell into the coffin. Court death. Seeing this scene, Aoun roared, and the power of the peak immortal master exploded, and he saw a huge dragon claw falling towards Suju from the sky. Looking at the falling dragon claw, Suju not only did not panic, but even he opened his mouth very comfortably and drank a glass of wine brought to his lips by Xiaoling. Boom! At this moment, the dragon's claws fell, and a violent force burst out, shaking the whole world. Aoun is a member of the Tianlong clan and a peak immortal emperor. Even an ordinary immortal emperor may not be able to block this blow. This person, Li Tianhe squinted his eyes and was talking, but when the energy light dissipated, he couldn't help being stunned. He saw that Suju was completely fine, and even the ground around him didn't seem to be affected at all. Poof! In the midst of doubt, Aoun, who had just taken action, screamed, a mouthful of blood spurted out, and his eyes were filled with shock. No, it's impossible. Is this guy a strong man in the immortal emperor realm? Aoun looked at Suju, who was still having fun with the beauty, and couldn't help but be shocked. How could there be a powerful immortal emperor in this barren lower world? Rumble. Ah! At this time, the strong men who rushed towards Suju also launched countless attacks, but suffered the same fate as Aoun. Suju was completely fine, but these strong men spit out a mouthful of blood and their breath became weak. What's going on? This man doesn't seem to have taken action, right? No action? So how did Xiao Hao and the others get injured? And even if the opponent is a powerful immortal emperor, there is no reason why he can resist so easily when faced with the siege of hundreds of thousands of people. It's really strange. What powerful means did this man use? In the upper realm, Li Yuan and others also showed surprised expressions. Even they dare not say that they can be so calm when faced with the siege of so many people, and they can injure so many people without even taking action. Are the strong men in the upper realm so fragile? I haven't taken action yet. Suju said with a faint smile. If these people observed carefully, they would find that when these attacks fell, they did not hit Suju, but were blocked by a white light shield. Absolute defense, being in this defensive shield will block all attacks. The defensive shield lasts for a quarter of an hour. Counter-injury technique, after using this technique, when the enemy attacks, you will also bear half of the power of the attack. In fact, Suju only used two kinds of items from the system, absolute defense and counter-injury techniques, so that these people in the upper world were injured, but he himself was intact. If these people had shown any mercy, they would have only withstood half of the power of the attack and would not have been seriously injured. But these guys are just trying to kill each other. The harder they hit, the stronger the attacks they will suffer. Xiaoling, pour me some wine, don't let this bunch of rubbish disturb my pleasure. Suju said and ignored everyone, enjoying the gentle countryside again. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 158. Damn it, this guy is really too arrogant. Hearing Suju's words, even Li Tianhe's eyes turned cold. He has never been called a waste by anyone since he was a child. What should we do now? This guy's method is too weird. Although we have many people, it doesn't seem to have any effect. Xiao Hao frowned. At this time, he had put away his contempt and discovered for the first time that the lower realm, which they had mistakenly thought was barren, was actually more dangerous than the upper realm. This is what they encountered when they came here. The first person had already damaged them so much. If there were more powerful people like him in this world, no matter how many of them there were, they would still die. Although this person is strong, we have hundreds of powerful immortal emperors. Is it possible that this person can be stronger than the immortal emperor? Li Tianhe narrowed his eyes and said. These words made Xiao Hao's eyes light up. This time, their four major forces each brought nearly 30 powerful immortal emperors. Originally, they had no intention of letting these immortal emperors take action. They just used it as a way to suppress the formation. That's all. But now it seems that these immortal emperors must take action. Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan, please help me. Now, Xiao Hao looked at a middle-aged man next to him. Zhu Huan, a powerful 7th-level immortal emperor, is ranked among the top 10 in their entire Taxian section. His single-handed killing swordsmanship is superb. Even if 9th-level immortal emperors must also be careful in dealing with them. Don't worry, this emperor doesn't take it to heart yet. Zhu Huan did not refuse. Although he said this, his eyes were full of caution when he looked at Suju. On the surface, he could say something powerful, but in fact, he couldn't see clearly what Suju had just done. Could he take it? He is not sure about the other party. But he knows that the sect leader and others are probably watching here at this time. If he refuses, the face of their Taxian sect will be lost. That's good. If Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan takes action, he will definitely be able to capture it. Xiao Hao breathed a sigh of relief and looked at Suju with a sneer. In his eyes, the other party was already a dead person. Your Highness, do we need? Immortal Emperor Gao Yi looked at Li Tianhe, but before he finished speaking, Li Tianhe waved his hand. He had a hunch in his heart that the person in front of him might not be that simple, so he had better let the people from Taxian sect test it out. And Li Tian, he couldn't help but look at Manjiang next to him. It had been rumored that the people in Manhuang Palace were simple-minded and only knew how to fight. But he didn't expect that the most calm person today was Manjiang. Manjiang? Never heard of it before. Li Tian, he squinted his eyes and thought to himself. Hurry up and take action, my barbecue and wine are about to run out, and then it will be my turn to take action, Suju said lightly. Arrogance, destroy the swordsmanship. Swish swish swish. Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan snorted coldly, and immediately waved his right hand, and saw thousands of long swords appearing in the sky. Each long sword has a red light attached to it, which contains a terrifying pressure that seems to swallow up the world. Look, it's the killing sword technique. I didn't expect Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan to use this move as soon as he made his move. He was determined to kill that man. It is said that Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan killed millions of people in one night, and then he mastered the killing swordsmanship. Those red lights above are murderous intentions, right? The sword of annihilation, the more people it kills, the more powerful it becomes. Before, Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan used this technique to fight the 9th grade Immortal Emperor without losing for a quarter of an hour. Unexpectedly, he could see it now. Seeing Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan's methods, everyone at the scene exclaimed in surprise, and when they looked at Suju, they all shook their heads. They have never heard of anyone being able to survive Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan's sword-killing skills, and he was also a person from the lower world. This murderous intention can disturb people's minds, which is similar to my violent wave magical power. It's a pity that. Suju shook her head as she spoke. Unfortunately, once the opponent uses this move, half of its power will fall on Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan. Kill. Swish swish swish. Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan had a cold expression on his face, and as his sword fingers moved together, he saw tens of thousands of long swords turning into blood and falling towards Suju. Everyone looked at the scene expectantly. They seemed to have seen Sujuwan's sword piercing his heart. Arrogant. Seeing that Suju didn't react at all to his move, Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan snorted coldly. Originally, he only used 50% of his power, but it instantly increased to 80%. Boom. The next second, 10,000 swords fell, terrifying power erupted, and the surrounding space was instantly torn open. When the aftermath spread, all the peaks within a 10-mile radius were cut off. The powerful Immortal Emperor took action, and it turned out to be so terrifying. But Li Tianhe and others looked at Suju closely. They still didn't believe it. They couldn't defeat the opponent with such methods. Poof. At this moment, a scream rang out, which made everyone look happy. Did the Immortal Emperor's powerful move finally have an effect? No, why does this scream sound like it's right next to your ears? But Li Tianhe soon realized something was wrong. He turned around and found that the figure of Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan had disappeared from the place. At this time, he was pale and unconscious with blood hanging from the corner of his mouth. He was falling to the ground. Go quickly to rescue Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan. Li Tianhe said hurriedly. Xiao Hao and other powerful men from the Taxian sect also reacted, and immediately several figures flew out, and then they rescued Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan. Strange, how did Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan get injured? Yes, we didn't see that kid make a move just now, and this is Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan, a powerful 7th grade Immortal Emperor. Even if that kid makes a move, the opponent will not have the power to avoid it. Although I don't know how Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan was injured, that kid is definitely dead. As everyone said this, they looked at Suju below. At this moment, Wang Jian also happened to disperse. No, okay. How can this be? Why is this kid still okay? But when they saw Suju still enjoying the little spirit's service, everyone was confused. What is going on? As a powerful 7th grade immortal emperor, Zhu Huan immortal emperor even displayed his famous stunts. There was no "it doesn't matter if you hurt the enemy, but you are still injured." It should be a method that can divert attacks. This child transfers all attacks on himself to the attacker. The more violent the attacker's method, the more serious the injury will be. In the upper realm, Ao Xifen narrowed his eyes and said, "The Tianlong clan also has this method. If they are attacked, they can transfer the attack back to the attacker. However, they cannot use this method frequently, and they themselves will also suffer." The injury was nothing like this. Suju was completely fine, but the attacker was seriously injured. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 159. I didn't expect this person to have such means, so what should I do now? Is it possible that we just let him go? Zhou Guangyuan said coldly. If it were before, he might just let Suju go, but it is different now. The strong man of their Taxian sect was injured. If it was not inappropriate, he would have fought in with his sword. There is no need to worry. Although this method is powerful, it should have limitations. Now that he is so arrogant, I am afraid that he is tempting us to attack him. If I am not wrong, this method should not exist for too long. Time and cannot be used again in a short period of time. Ao Zifeng thought for a while and said, if this method can be used all the time, it would be too perverted. Zhou Guangyuan snorted and said nothing, but still sent their guest to Xiao Hao and others. The ancient emperor is a bit interesting. Although Li Yuan didn't speak, his eyes were full of light when he looked at Suju. He didn't know what he was thinking. What happened to immortal Emperor Zhu Huan? Xiao Hao looked at an immortal emperor beside him and asked. Immortal Emperor Zhu Huan was seriously injured and may not be able to recover in a short time. Xiao Hao's face darkened. The strongest person accompanying him this time, immortal Emperor Zhu Huan, was seriously injured and fell into a coma. How could they fight against the man below? Just as he was thinking about it, a piece of information appeared in his mind. Soon his eyes lit up. Boy, if I'm not wrong, your method should have a time limit, right? Xiao Hao looked at Suju and asked coldly. Suju smiled slightly, but he didn't expect there to be smart people. That's right, there are 5 minutes left. What, is it possible that you don't dare to do it? Suju didn't hide it and asked with a smile. Humph, there is no need to use the provoking method. After 5 minutes, when this method disappears, I will definitely cut you into pieces, Xiao Hao said. Suju shrugged and did not talk nonsense to the other party. He continued to eat barbecue and drink wine. Now the barbecue was almost finished and the wine had bottomed out. 5 minutes was enough for him to finish it. At the same time, Xiao Hao also told others the news he got. After everyone knew that Suju's method had a time limit, they originally wanted to back down, but now they had murderous intentions towards Suju again. They thought, if it weren't for the other party's special method, Suju would have been killed. It is impossible for Zhu to stop their encirclement and killing. Xiao Hao, there is no need to rush to kill this person. This method is really rare. It is better to arrest him and question him. Li Tian he thought for a while and said. Xiao Hao didn't say anything. Although he said harsh words, he also wanted to capture Suju alive. He did nothing but caused so many of them to be injured. Who wouldn't want this method? When Suju drank the last glass of wine, the 5 minutes were up. Ding dong, the absolute defense effect disappears. Ding dong, the effect of the counter-injury technique has disappeared. Now that you've eaten and drank enough, Xiaoling, what do you think we should do next? Suju stood up slowly, hugged Xiaoling and asked with a smile. What does the master want to do? Xiaoling said. After eating and drinking, it would be perfect if I could watch it again. Suju said, and his body disappeared instantly. Where are people? Seeing Suju suddenly disappear, he and others were slightly startled, and hurriedly looked around, but found no trace of Suju. Everyone is on alert to prevent this person from making a sneak attack. Li Tianhe shouted, and hundreds of thousands of people burst out with spiritual power and looked around warily. At this time, Suju had already turned on the stealth state and entered the stealth mode. Ding dong, the host starts the riot wave. Buzz. As soon as the system finished speaking, a bloody circle of light with a radius of 10,000 meters appeared under Suju's feet, and then Suju quickly shuttled among the crowd. In just a few seconds, Suju's figure appeared on the ground again. Little Ling, come and give your master a shoulder squeeze. Suju said. A recliner appeared in front of her. Suju also lay down on it. Xiao Ling obediently squeezed Suju's shoulders. Master, what should we do with these people? Xiao Ling asked while squeezing her shoulders. Just watch a show. Suju said, looking at the sky with a smile. What does this guy mean? Could it be possible that the method just now would work? Probably not. He suddenly disappeared just now, and he must have used some kind of method, but what exactly is this method? Ah, junior brother, what are you doing? Senior brother, you actually attacked me, what do you mean? Ah! While everyone was wondering, countless screams soon started to sound. Rumble. In the next second, the 500,000 people above the sky began to use their methods. Their eyes were bloodshot, as if they had completely lost their minds, and they were killing the people around them. Many monks who entered the riot state later in the evening did not react at all, and were killed directly, falling down with unwillingness and confusion on their faces. The coffin I prepared seems a bit small. Suju looked at the black iron coffin next to him and said with a smile. Boom. Sect leader Zhou, what does your Taxian sect mean? Why are you taking action against me, Demon Spirit Valley? Ao Zifeng's aura exploded, and he looked at Zhou Guanyuan beside him with a gloomy face and asked coldly. What does my Taxian sect mean? I want to ask you what you mean by Demon Spirit Valley. Aren't you also taking action against our Taxian sect? Zhou Guanyuan snorted coldly. Don't make any noise. These people have all lost their minds. I'm afraid it's the ancient emperor's method. Li Yuan also stood up at this time, watching the four major forces in the picture killing each other, even the closest people to each other. Li Yuan's eyes were filled with chills. It is indeed strange. What method did this ancient emperor use to make all of us lose our will? Manhai also frowned. He had never heard of this method before. It was like being possessed by a maniac, and he no longer recognized his relatives. The ancient emperor disappeared for a few seconds just now. I am afraid it was these few seconds that allowed him to use unknown means. Li Yuan narrowed his eyes and said, he actually forgot that the ancient emperor had such a method. The heavenly soul palace was killing each other like this before. So what do we do now? Are we going to let our people kill each other? Zhou Guanyuan asked. Every second that passes now, hundreds or even thousands of people will die under their section. Even if their four major forces have sufficient foundation, they cannot withstand such a consumption. Especially since they have sent hundreds of immortals. The emperor's strong men, when these strong men take action, it can be said that the world is shattered, and other low-level monks basically die tragically in an instant. Wait. Li Yuan gritted his teeth and looked at Suju, who was lying on a chair with his legs crossed and a woman squeezing his shoulders, with a gloomy face. Now they can only wait. If more strong men are sent in, if they can't stop it, just to die. After all, there are hundreds of crazy immortal emperor strong men, even he Li Yuan dare not say that he can survive. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 160. Wait. The monks under our sect are being slaughtered. Are you telling me that I can only wait? Hearing Li Yuan's words, Zhou Guangyuan suddenly felt unhappy. Their Taxian sect is not as open-minded as the emperor court, and they have countless sect monks who can supplement them. If all these people die, Taxian sect will definitely be severely damaged. It is only a matter of time before it is annexed by the imperial court. If you want to die, go ahead, Li Yuan said nonchalantly. There was no way for him to get rid of the state of losing his will. Now he could only wait. He didn't believe that the state would last forever. Zhou Guangyuan gritted his teeth. Although he was unwilling to do so, he still couldn't. He could only sit down again. He also knew that with his strength, he could not control the situation in front of him. I don't know what means the master used. He did nothing but caused the four major forces to suffer such heavy losses. Gumyun, who had been speechless, secretly smacked his lips, and his admiration for Suju became even deeper. Shortage Great Emperor, your method is too cruel. You actually let them kill each other. If I hadn't been prepared, the space in this place would have collapsed long ago. The voice of the world spirit sounded in Suju's mind. At this time, the world spirit was also full of shock. Although he knew that the ancient emperor was powerful, he did not expect to be so powerful. He watched the whole process, and the other party had nothing. However, hundreds of thousands of people in the upper world fell into a state of madness. If he hadn't quickly mobilized the power of heaven and earth to maintain the space in this place, the crazy attacks of hundreds of immortal emperors would have caused the world to collapse long ago. Got it? World Spirit, you came just in time. I don't have time to watch the show now. You can find a few people to help me collect the corpse, Suju said with a smile. 400,000 people came to the upper world before, but now, like dumplings, people are falling from the sky to the ground every second. In just about 10 minutes, there are only 100,000 people left in the sky. Alive. There are nearly 300,000 corpses piled up on the ground. He has no time to collect the corpses, but he cannot leave these corpses alone and pollute the environment. It would be perfect if someone collects the corpses. No problem, I'll find someone right now. The world spirit said, and before long, several space cracks appeared around Suju, and then figures walked out of the cracks. There were 10 people in total, namely Wu Lingyuan, Ao Tianmo, Lin Wuyuan, Wu Fei, Chu Luying, and some others whom Suju didn't recognize. But it didn't matter if he didn't recognize him, all 10 of them knew him. I'm going to pay my respects to Senior Huanggu, but I don't know why Senior asked me to come here. Wu Lingyuan and others hurriedly knelt down and looked at Suju and asked. It's very simple, help me collect the corpse. Suju winked and said. As soon as these words came out, the 10 people paused for a moment, then looked into the distance, and suddenly froze on the spot. Corpses, all of them were corpses, corpses all over the field. And then they looked at Intianji. I found that there are still many people fighting crazily, and people are dying every second. Seniors, people from these circles. Wu Lingyuan asked blankly. That's right. The upper realm used special means to make the rules of Dingtian world equal to that of the upper realm, so it sent strong men here. Now these strong men are fighting, and you only need to collect the corpses. Suju nodded, without hiding anything, and explained casually. After hearing Suju's words, Wu Lingyuan and others suddenly understood. No wonder there was a strange phenomenon in the Dingtian world just now. It turned out to be the upper world. It was someone who did it. Senior Huanggu also specially released the light and shadow saying that it was okay, which was intended to reassure them, but the other party alone took on the responsibility of protecting their Dingtian world. Thinking of this, the 10 people looked at Suju with full eyes. In order to show respect, how can they, these ants, actually let the ancient predecessors protect them here? How? Don't want to collect the body. Seeing that the 10 people were motionless, Suju asked doubtfully. Thinking about it, these 10 people can be regarded as respectable people. Trivial tasks such as collecting corpses are usually done by the people below. It's normal if they don't want to. Yes, we are willing to help Senior collect the corpses. From now on, if Senior has any assignments, we will do our best. Wu Lingyuan and others said, then turned around to collect the corpse. Looking at the people who suddenly expressed their loyalty, Suju looked confused. It seemed that he had done nothing. If he knew what everyone was thinking, he would probably laugh out loud. He released light and shadow before, ostensibly to appease everyone, but actually just to earn points. By the way, one more thing. Everyone was about to leave, but Suju spoke again. Whatever seniors have to do, we will definitely do our best to complete it, Wu Lingyuan and others hurriedly said. It's nothing serious. These corpses are all powerful men from the upper world. They must have many treasures of heaven and earth. We understand that we will definitely hand over all these resources to our seniors and will never keep them to ourselves. Before Suju finished speaking, Wu Lingyuan and others said with a look of astonishment. In the past, they might have been concerned about the resources of these powerful men, but now Senior Huanggu is responsible for the burden of the entire Dingtian world on his own. If they continue to worry about responsibility, they will really no longer be human. Suju was stunned. He hadn't even finished speaking. What are these guys so anxious about? You collect these resources yourself, and I don't need them. Whoever gets more resources depends on how quickly you collect the corpses, Suju said with a smile. Wu Lingyuan and others were stunned. All these resources were given to them. Senior Huanggu did the fighting, but in the end all the benefits were given to them. Senior Huanggu was too kind to them, right? Go ahead, I don't like mountains of corpses and seas of corpses. Seeing what others wanted to say, Suju waved her hands and said, he doesn't like to be pretentious. Thank you, Senior Huanggu. Everyone nodded, and they had secretly made up their minds. From now on, they would swear to follow the ancient predecessors to the death. Then the 10 people went to collect the corpses. I have to say that the speed of the 10 people was quite fast, especially Wu Fei. This guy has something like this before. Suju selected the Kinkan ghost flag for him. As soon as the ghost flag was waved, thousands of corpses on the ground came to life as if they had gained strength again, but from now on they had to obey Wu Fei's orders. This show is almost over. Suju looked at the rapidly decreasing number of people in Tianji with a smile on his face. At the same time, Wu Lingyuan and others were collecting the corpses and talking at the same time. I didn't expect that Senior Huanggu was so kind and righteous. All the dirty work was his, but the benefits were given to us. Such a strong man has such a big heart that we will never be able to match in our lifetime. If Senior Huanggu hadn't called us here, we wouldn't have known that something like this happened in Dingtian world. It is necessary to tell others about this matter. Senior Huanggu cannot be allowed to silently bear the responsibility we should bear. That's right, I will release the light and shadow right now to let everyone in the Dingtian world know that although Senior Huanggu is unwilling to speak out, we must not be ungrateful. As they spoke, several people recorded videos one after another, releasing light and shadow in the world. _